You know, being underwater is cool, but what if a fucking shark eats me? What if the snorks violate my soul? What if Ariel actually looks like Ursula? Oh, Kumiko, is that you? Whoa, where am I? Fuck, I must have died again. My anxiety got the better of me. Well, I feel like making an anime video for once, but oh god, what shall I talk about? Maybe something pertaining to the topic of anxiety. Oh god, who art in heaven, please tell me what anime I should discuss. Well, my Peggy, look at the title, you fucking coon! Hello everyone, my name is RecklessPeggy, and today I am here to discuss one of my personal favorite anime of all time, Amanchu, a show that aired in the summer season of 2016 produced by JC Staff. The original creator, Amano Kozue, also made the masterpiece known as Aria, and while you can draw many parallels between both works, they're extremely distinctive in their own rights. For this video, I really wanted to focus on the theme of overcoming anxiety and explain how Teko receives amazing character development throughout the anime. Yes, this video will be spoiler filled, so if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this video. If you're a dumbass, you're going to watch it anyways. Seriously, you don't want to miss out on experiencing this work. This deserves your actual time and money. But first, I need to start with a quick synopsis of the work just to get your minds refreshed. Amanchu's story centers around Futaba, who is referred to as Teko, and Hikari, whose nickname is Pikari. So for the remainder of the video, I will refer to the nicknames because A, whenever I speak Japanese, it sounds like a mouse going through a cheese grater, and B, because, well, it's easier. Having recently moved, Teko is portrayed as extremely shy, introverted, and filled with anxiety. She gets introduced to Pikari, a girl whose vibrant and outgoing personality dichotomizes Teko's, yet, like Teko, has some underlying insecurities. She has an immense love for scuba diving and manages to convince Teko to join the scuba diving club with her, and thus, our chill slice of life begins. However, this show is way more than just the fun moments and hijinks we typically expect from a show like this. Instead, this is a powerful and riveting story that utilizes scuba diving as a means to parallel Teko's development in overcoming anxiety. Right from the get-go, the grandmother establishes the ocean as being this wide world that's unexplored and beautiful. Simply looking at the ocean is not enough. Experiencing and delving into the unknown world is where the rewards can be reaped, where one can experience pleasures and joy. This world is something Teko would have overlooked, confined to the past, which is represented by her phone connecting her to her old friends, and not wanting to see the present. Diving into the ocean is hard. Being introduced to a new world is scarier than the thought of your favorite meme dying out, and this is especially true for a girl riddled with anxiety. You need friends to guide you, and that's where Pikari gets introduced. So, who the fuck is this energetic spaz? She's the perfect character to bring Teko out of her shell, as she constantly finds methods in helping Teko or to give her some insight. Unlike Teko, Pikari is willing to dive into a world she's unfamiliar with. This was shown in episode 1 as she's running around the new school excited for the experiences to come, and is especially accentuated by this shot in episode 2, showing her literally using a diving position while jumping towards the town in the background. The magical pool sequence in the same episode excelled in demonstrating how Pikari, despite her absurd antics, ponders deeply about the reasons why she loves the things she's fond of. This scene relates to the overall theme of overcoming anxiety, basically stating that in a new place, at first you tend to be alone, but as you delve deeper, you form new connections, new bonds that help you traverse through life and distract oneself from uneasy feelings. Add in the classic cherry blossom symbolic of a new beginning, and we got ourselves a chugga theme train! We got them themes, boys! They're coming out of nowhere, they're coming from the right, they're coming from the left, they're coming above, they're coming over my face. Jesus, stop doing that to my face, stop all the themes, oh! Episode 3 opens up, and we overhear these girls probably discussing something really stupid. What could they possibly be saying? JoJo Part 1 is the best JoJo part! Teko, you don't want to associate yourself with those creatures over there, okay? Come over here to the light, okay? JoJo Part 4. JoJo Part 4. Part 4. Part 4. That's it, girl. Part 4, that's the best. But poor Teko, she doesn't know the first thing about interacting with strangers. Her nerves overtake her ability to do so, as shown with excellent usage of body language in conjunction with internalized thoughts that rationalize her anxiety, making her feel like it's okay to be alone. She imagines a cherry blossom petal and questions these ideas she's ingrained into her brain. Things like, does she really want to be alone? Is this the correct way to live? She's now starting to criticize her self-deprecating facet of herself. It is after this scene that we see this wonderful dynamic Pikari and Teko Teko have built where Teko is able to freely express her worries while Pikuri can absorb this information like a sponge and find a way to improve Teko's perspective on life. This interaction also shows Pikuri expressing how she too finds it difficult to converse with others. She has her own anxieties which externalize in a much more bombastic manner. Pikuri is a character who lives in the present. Teko is one who lives in the past. And the sequence with the tunnel of cherry blossom trees had Pikuri uttering lines that starts morphing Teko's perspective into one that's more positive. People who live miserable in the moment will always be miserable and vice versa. Teko takes this to heart after seeing how happy just the sight of nature made her feel, having that wonderful feeling of pure bliss that eliminates anxiety. Life is all about looking at what's in front of you and trying to make the most out of it. Connecting oneself with nature can also allow one to easily see the beauty of the present, things that are transient, things that you can only see if you're there. The second half of this episode expertly showcases how Amanchu perfectly intertwines overcoming anxiety with scuba diving. It's explained that the deeper you dive, the more the volume of air inside the body gets compressed. So to avoid your lungs from becoming crushed like Rem's feelings, one must maintain a steady air volume by breathing at a constant pace. The same can be said about rising, yet the consequence for failing to maintain proper air pressure will result in your lungs blowing up. So why is this simple diving lesson important? Well, it teaches a lesson that we can all relate to. Simply taking a breath can do wonders for terminating any fears we may have in the moment. Whether it be breathing before making a profound speech, breathing before an important performance, or, in Teko's case, taking a deep breath before doing any action that seems out of her comfort zone. Crumbling to anxiety will cause failure, so learning to think and breathe steadily won't result in self-destruction. This is important to Teko, as she's applying it to herself, thus changing her outlook on life once more. She doesn't desire for anxiety to be a hindrance. She wants to dive deep into the world, find more goodies like the tunnel of gorgeous trees. Her heart is burning for the desire to learn and experience more. The breathing in this sense is a metaphor for constantly pressing forward in life. Teko now doesn't view her anxiety in a negative light, nor does she feel disdain for being cowardly, but now she views these emotions as a necessary puzzle piece to connect her with the people important to her. Pikuri is the Prince Charming and Teko is the princess now willing to be yanked from her crusty shell. And oh, this scene was so good. Oh my god, it made my heart burn with a fiery fucking passion. While having the conviction to pull oneself from the wretchedness of anxiety is a great start, it isn't as easy as saying tinkle tinkle hoy! And bam, your anxiety vanishes. This struggle is excellently portrayed in the second half of episode 4 where Teko is learning how to expel water from her mask. The water inside her mask serves as an external metaphorical representation of her internal tears when she's placed into a terrifying situation or thinking of horrifying thoughts. She can't seem to escape them and constantly deems herself as a failure, almost giving up. Lots of shots convey her isolation in both the present and the past. By seeing people walk past a younger version of herself, we can infer that her anxiety has been around since a younger age, and she's never been extended a helping hand when she needed it most. Simply having a friend there for assistance can mean the world and help one to become more motivated as opposed to remaining in the endless cycle of stagnation. Pikuri literally doing the minute gesture of fixing Teko's mask stopped Teko's symbolic crying, allowing her to breathe steadily and avoid being engulfed by her negative emotions. Pikuri diving to the bottom of the pool with Teko also accentuates the importance of friends when dealing with complex, nerve-wracking issues, and also demonstrates that Teko took the lesson in the prior episode to heart, maintaining constant air pressure, breathing and letting loose all those anxieties. Episodes 3 and 4 bundled together showcase wonderful development for Teko, and even I myself can relate to her. As someone whose anxiety level can reach higher than the next in ballroom, I take it to the next level. One thing that personally helped me was finding new ways to express myself in front of others so that they can gain a deeper understanding of my preferences, my perspectives on the world, and my creative side, something which is idiosyncratic to all human beings. The ending of episode 5 was perfect in portraying the happiness Teko felt after expressing her idealistic view of the ocean and its sea life on the chalkboard. While I would have personally drawn myself in a penguin outfit with no pants on, coloring in my large throbbing meat rod with the shiny gold, oh god, that would have looked so good. This externalization of one's imagination is just as good, I guess. And while this moment was already phenomenal, it was brought up to a god tier level after I said in these words, These are the first waters the four of us dove into together. This inclusion of Teko in the group of four was super meaningful, as Teko now feels like she's a part of the group rather than just a bystander like she felt in the beginning of episode 4. Also, this quote shows how beautiful it is to accomplish and create something together. This togetherness is something Teko hasn't completely felt yet, and wishes to preserve, thus she saves a picture of this wonderful art on her phone. This Teko now has a purpose. The beginning of episode 6 showed her younger self conjuring up a fake wish with words that she didn't completely mean. Contrast this with the newfound Teko, who has an end goal in mind to swim with her friends, and the difference is night and day. She has changed so much in the school year alone. The diving exam is a test of her development as a character. She's able to use the breathing technique from episode 3 to stay underwater without panicking. She learned how to clear her mask of water, thus highlighting how she's losing her fears and has practiced in order to bring out her fullest potential as a diver. She passes! Yay! Thus not only being a celebration of her diving skills, but a celebration for her growth as a character. She's starting to externalize her thoughts a lot more. When talking with Quirky, she told her about how her and her grandmother inspired her to search for her true self in the vast wide ocean. On a deeper level, this means that they helped her to start trying to find purpose in her life, something that'll make her happy in the new environment she was thrusted in. Who the fuck is that interrupting my wonderful script? Hold on fellas, be right back. It is I, God, the one you prayed to in the beginning of the video. And what are you here for? I am here to tell you, my child, that you have to review Boku no Hero for your next video. Wait a second, you're not God! Ah! Oh, no, get out of here. There's already enough of your videos on the internet. But don't you want to make money, Peggy? Money? Shoo! No one wants you here. Back to the video. When talking about anxiety, love is often a loaded topic, and this is where Ai's character shines as she accidentally receives a love letter addressed to the girl in the locker below her. We see constant shots in the background of Quirky and Teko training, and Amanchu expertly parallels this to Ai's situation when she mentions people giving it their all without letting their emotions disencourage them. This is in reference to the boy who sent out the love letter. Ai has a side to her that recognizes the anxiety that probably welled up inside the letter's sender, and respects that despite the anxiety, he was able to send it anyways. This is also probably why Ai likes Teko. She can see her determination and anxiety colliding with each other, yet despite that, Teko never gives in. It's a nice little segment about how we as humans have the power to override our fears if we have a fiery passion towards what we're doing. This episode also showed how over time we grow more comfortable with others and are able to display another facet of ourselves. Teko losing the race and wanting to try again externalized the part of herself that hates to lose, a side of herself that has been internalized for the past few episodes, which Quirky immediately picks up on, causing Teko to blush rather than the Kool-Aid nigga. The relationship between these two is just so genuine and heartwarming, it just melts my icy heart. The only other thing that can melt my icy heart is a shot of vodka, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Episode 9 of Amanchu is masterful in demonstrating how far Teko's character has developed and the idea of memories being attached to photographs. Teko, as shown in episode 5, tends to keep photographs to cherish the most valuable moments of her life. But there's a problem. She begins to run out of phone space in order to take more pictures. In an earlier episode, this would have caused her to break down, but she's relatively calm. As the grandmother notes in the parallel to the first scene of the show, Teko feels like a different character when she's sitting on the beach. Sure, she's looking at the phone remembering the past, but now she's also glancing at the ocean. The past is something to be preserved, especially to Teko, who had friends that helped her refrain from being completely lonely before high school. But that's the past, and Quirky, Ai, and her brother are the present. So rather than just being hung up on the past, Teko is now cherishing the present, as shown at the end of the episode when she brings up her new chapter of her life with the corresponding image changing to her current group of friends. Preserving memories is important. Losing pictures is almost the equivalent of losing a treasure connected to that time in our lives, and Quirky giving Teko the gift of a device that can store more images shows how much Quirky and Teko have grown to understand each other. This episode also highlighted upon the anxiety of separation. When Teko is on the phone with her friend upon first moving to the town, she mentions how the person hanging up would be more in pain than the person who gets hung up on. Separating and leaving another person by themselves will only intensify any fears felt by both parties, and the person who purposely leaves the other person alone feels extremely guilty because they know that they're unintentionally feeling the other person's distress. Teko was scared upon moving to an unknown place, and it's nice to see one of her first farewells that's much needed when maturing. Sure, separation is fucking terrifying, but it's sometimes a necessity, especially when it comes to personal development and moving on with one's life. At the conclusion of the episode, she calls her old friend, asking about her new life, reconnecting and showing that sometimes farewells aren't forever. And though separate, they can still find ways to move forward in their lives and find happiness rather than staying stagnated because a person you care for is at a far distance. Episode 10 furthers the amazing character building for Teko as she explains her gratefulness to Picuri, which is shown in episodes 6 and 9, 69, I'm so immature, yet feels like she can't offer much in return. Despite everything, Teko still feels massive amounts of nervousness and bits of worthlessness as well. She develops, but she still has these sinking worries, which makes her feel more human than most characters. The grandmother then mentions how when one steps out of the darkness into the bright light, it's blinding for a second before an image comes to form, but that image was always there in the first place before the light shone upon you. As long as you don't block the light, your world will shine. I'm basically paraphrasing this quote, but the message is clear. Everything that can make us happy is always there, but because of our emotions, we tend to cloud the good in our lives with darkness. As long as Teko doesn't make her emotions darken her world, she'll live a happy life and see the good facets of reality that lay in front of her. She tells Picuri that she's at a loss, that she's not worthy enough to be her diving buddy, but Picuri just smiles and reassures Teko that she herself sometimes has the same insecurities of being at a loss. But it's okay because it shows that you're not content with your current self, and opens up a realm of possibilities to improve oneself. This is one of the more human moments for Picuri, and a lesson that anyone with anxiety can relate to, especially to Teko, who takes this to heart and makes her already shiny world shine brighter than the foreheads in Code Lyoko. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the final episode is upon us. We're about to see the land of the lustrous, the ocean waves. Fuck my Discord. Welcome to Amanchu's final episode. The diving sequence took my breath away when I first saw it, and when I saw it again for this video, it still floored me. Teko still has her anxieties, as shown by the water and light slowly fading into darkness. It's beautiful, yet Teko feels vulnerable, and given that this is her first diving experience, she's rather worrisome until Picuri comes along, grabs her hand, and reassures her that everything is okie dokie. This uncertainty is further broken when she's able to see the pillars of bubbles floating to the surface from the divers down below. This incites intrigue into what lies below the water, a brand new world to explore. Paralleling Teko's change in perspective of the world she lives in, full of wonderful things that are shrouded in secret until further explored or revealed. Using breathing techniques, she descends, freeing herself from uneasiness as she loses sight of the surface. This fear-provoking darkness bursts into a wonderful, lively world. All of this harkens back to what the grandmother mentioned in prior episodes. Simply looking at the ocean isn't enough. You must be in the ocean, be in the world, indulge in the treasures, break free from the shackles of anxiety that hold you down, and move forward in life to uncover the goodies that have always been present, yet shrouded by a pool of negative emotions. This is what Amanchu was about the whole time. I guess right here I can note one common criticism I see with this show. Excuse me while I do an obnoxious 12-year-old voice.
What? An animal about scuba duba diving and they don't do it till the last episode? Dropped! You suck! Rick and Morty beat her!
Sorry for hurting your ears. It was some sort of catharsis I needed. They refrained from going into the ocean not to cock tease y'all, but as a means to parallel it to the world and utilize it as an end goal for Teko to strive for. This type of development needs some time to cook and simmer. If they dove into the ocean in the first half, then all of this amazing development, all of this slow burning character growth would simply not exist. This allows the audience to find relatability in Teko's struggle, and much like Teko, had the audience waiting for this grand moment, making this one segment extremely powerful and impactful. Diving into the water is a representation of Teko overcoming massive amounts of anxiety. This is a story about the journey to the destination and not so much the destination itself. At the conclusion, she stopped her endless cycle of stagnation, self-deprecation, and loneliness, and has now become a person she can bring herself to love. Her last conversation with Picuri highlighted upon this, as well as a nice moment where Picuri has trouble explaining to Teko how much she appreciates Teko giving her a chance to show her what she truly loves. And you can tell from this interaction, many people have rejected her in the past. Also, please, if there's ever one show I want a Yuri ship for that's not Little Witch Academia, it's this show. Oh my god, can these two characters scissor, please? I need Picuri to touch Teko's Teko, if you know what I mean. This is a brand new Teko, a Teko that's been soaked in water and is reborn. She is truly a wonderful, inspirational character that I could relate to on a personal level. This show taught me to be thankful for the friends that pulled me out of my introverted ass and showed me the true splendors of life. And for all you people out there who are struggling or dealing with anxiety, I totally get it because I have it myself. So I'd advise you to search for something you're passionate for. If you do that, you could rid yourself of some anxieties, some fears by saying you accomplished something. And in the end, the reward for that is priceless. I know I'm far from the best content creator out there. Heck, that's why I haven't uploaded for a long time. Heck, I kinda thought of myself as a little worthless at one point. But you know what? I found passion again. And after I finished editing this video, I felt extremely fucking happy. So I'm begging y'all, please, 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 if you're dealing with anxiety, contact your friends, or just simply find something you're passionate for. So that's just a me to you message. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, check out my Discord, fuck me in the asshole, and have a wonderful day, my lovely fans. Thank you all so much for accepting me back. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, that's it. Goodbye.